All right, our guy talking NFL, Booger McFarland, putting a bow in the NFL season. Super Bowl 54 wrapped up in South Beach with Kansas City taking down the San Francisco 49ers. Booger every week presented by Central Plumbing Company. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, fellas. What's going on?
Seems like the popular sports talk question to talk about Super Bowl is to ask, did Kansas City win the game or did San Francisco lose it?
Well, I mean, it's kind of one and the same. I mean, I don't usually do popular sports talk. Here's what I'll say. I think when the score was 20-10, and the 49ers had the football, they had a chance to put the game away, and they didn't. And you got to give Patick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs a lot of credit because, to me, the pivotal play of the game was 3rd and 15. And the 3rd and 15 play was a good throw by Mahomes. Not a great throw because he kind of underthrew it on the 44-yarder to Tyreek Hill. But all that's made possible because the DB, number 41, Emmanuel Mosley, blew an assignment. So, I mean, it's kind of one and the same. If Mosley doesn't blow the assignment, do they pick up the 3rd and 15? Probably not. But Patrick Mahomes still has to make the throw. And I think, being only his 3rd year in the league, to have won a Super Bowl MVP, a Super Bowl, and a league MVP, I think you got to give the Chiefs a lot of credit.
Where are you on the stock of Kyle Shanahan?
I think it's for me, it's as high as it's ever been. I don't subscribe to the whole theory that Kyle Shanahan wasn't aggressive or didn't do this or didn't do that. I think every coach knows his team better than we ever could. And we fall into the category of, well, they should have done this. Well, how are you going to tell the guy who got his team to the Super Bowl what he should have done? And to me, that's the cardinal sin that we all make. I think Kyle Shanahan is among the best play callers in this league. And even after the Super Bowl, I still think he's among the best play callers in this league. My feeling for him has not changed. I've been saying it all year long, and I'm not going to change it now.
Same question, different character. What's your stock on Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy played really well for a long stretch. I think Jimmy's a young quarterback, but young, I don't necessarily mean by a number of years in the league, but go back and look at the number of starts that Jimmy Garoppolo has. He started, I want to say overall, Jimmy's only started like 25 games, man. Like, it's not like Patrick Mahomes has started more games than Jimmy Garoppolo. So Jimmy's still young. Did he play perfect? No. Did he play good enough to win? Yeah. If you understood how the 49ers play, it's run game, it's defense. And in the end, their defense let them down. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Now, on the other side of the ball, to me, Book, my big takeaway from this entire game was just, what is the ceiling for Pat Mahomes, right? Because this was a game where we always talk about it. How do you stop an elite quarterback? The D-line, the front four getting home. They were getting home all game long, and yet he still figured out a way to break through in that fourth and to win. He's not even 25 yet. He's league MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Book, they would have gone to 2 Super Bowls in a row if not for an offsides penalty. So, what's your thoughts on where Mahomes kind of is right now and, what his ceiling can maybe be?
Well, I think his ceiling can be whatever he wants it to be. Like, he's that good. But let's not forget, Dan Marino's a Hall of Famer. He went to 1 Super Bowl and never got back.
Yeah.
We've seen guys who their talent is uber unbelievable, but they never get back to the highest level. So I would just tell everybody, let's just pump the brakes. We're all prisoners of the moment.
Yep.
Is he the best quarterback in football right now? Absolutely. Does that mean he's going to win 5 Super Bowls? Hell no. Let's just slow down. Let's enjoy him for what he is. He's the Super Bowl MVP. He's won a league MVP. He's the best player in the league. And let's just see where it goes. But there is no question that the sky's the limit. There are just a lot of factors that play into him reaching his full expectations and potential. And a lot of that has to do with the people around him.
Yeah, no doubt. And, I guess maybe we get more on how set up is the Chiefs roster long term. But I want to ask about another guy around him, and that is the player who was actually named Kansas City team MVP, Tyrann Mathieu. I'm sure you have some insight into this, Boog. Just talking around people around that franchise, around the league. What's the kind of NFL word on the street about the impact that Tyrann Mathieu had this season?
Well, he's what I call a force multiplier, meaning when he shows up on your team, he has the ability to galvanize a lot of people and take them to heights that even they didn't think they could go. And very few guys in the league can do that. He can. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can pay to a player is that they make the guys around them better. They change the environment on the team. And Tyrann Mathieu does all that. He did it in Arizona. He did it in Houston, and he's doing it again in Kansas City. So
he did it at LSU.
Yeah,
he did it at LSU. It's not a secret. He's just that type of guy, and I told him this. I'm so proud of him and where he is now relative to where he started and where he was when he left LSU. And I believe football is the greatest teacher of life, guys. And I think everyone out there listening should just take a look at Tyrann Mathieu and his story. Like, he reached rock bottom. He was kicked out of LSU. He had a problem with marijuana. And look at where he is. Like, that wasn't the end of the story. He went back and he evaluated and he changed. And I think you got to give a lot of credit to the people in his life who stuck by him. And he talks about how Patrick Peterson put his arm around him. He didn't kick him to the curb. And so let that be a lesson to everybody out there. When somebody is at their rock bottom, man, don't kick them to the curb, man. Put your arm around them because you never know what their potential could be. They just need a little help. And, Patrick Peterson has been outstanding for LSU, but I think his biggest accomplishment so far has been saving a life, man. Like, I think he saved Tyrann Mathieu's life, and, he probably wouldn't speak on it, but for me, I just think that's an amazing lesson for all of us in life.
You know what's kind of wild to me, Boog, is because you're absolutely right, but like when we talk about Tyrann's adversity, that is a situation that we mentioned. We don't even mention the fact that he had to overcome 2 ACL surgeries in the NFL and made himself into an all-pro defender again this season. I mean, his resolve is wild. So, okay, if he's locked in for the Chiefs then, and Mahomes is locked in at least the next couple of years, are the Chiefs your Super Bowl favorite going into next season?
T-Bob, only you would ask that question on February. What's the day? February 5th?
This is it. This is it, Boog. This is sports talk.
Listen, I don't know if they're the favorites. Here's what I say. They haven't even had the parade yet. They got to sign Chris Jones back.
Yeah.
They got to keep everybody healthy. As we saw last offseason, they got to make sure certain people don't get arrested. Like, all the things that go into keeping a team together, they have to go through. But I will say this. They are as talented as any team in the league. They're going to have to deal with the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to have to deal with the Cowboys. They're going to have to deal with the Patriots, depending on what happens with Brady. But they are set up in a position that if all things health withstanding, they are going to be one of the teams that could be a contender next year. I will give you that for your sports talk radio show.
Also, you accidentally stuck the Cowboys in there. I think that must have been some sort of Freudian slip or mistake to mention them with those other teams.
No, that was not a mistake. The Cowboys are
okay. Guess we'll see.
Cowboys are super talented.
Guess we'll see. How about that Lamar Jackson MVP though, Boog? Huh?
Hey, outstanding, T-Bob. I'll give you the final word on Lamar Jackson. 14-2 MVP in the playoffs. You see what changed.
That's a hell of a final word that you're giving me there, Boog. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Wait, Boog. I want to play a little name association with you. I give you a name, you give me a team. It's real quick, and you don't even have to explain it if you don't want to. Phillip Rivers.
Okay. No team at home.
Wow. Drew Brees.
No team at home.
Wow. Ooh. Tom Brady.
Patriots.
Best commercial in the Super Bowl.
I never watched one because I had to work. I was doing the game for ESPN International, so I still haven't seen a commercial.
Oh, wow. The International. Wait, Boog,
yeah.
So, okay, now you got to expound a little bit on the Brees answer. Why at home?
I just think that when it's all said and done, Drew Brees is going to retire, man. I don't have any inside info whatsoever.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of read the tea leaves, I saw a quote where Drew Brees said he'd be ready to give 30 snaps to Taysom Hill. When you start saying stuff like that, that tells me where your mind is. Like Drew Brees 3 years ago, would Drew Brees say he wanted to give 30 snaps to the backup quarterback?
No, it's actually he's notorious for in practice the backups like not getting any reps.
That's my point. So why all of a sudden now, yeah, you can have 25, 30, the hell, take 40. I'll just chill out, That just doesn't happen unless you're at a point in your career where you're like, you know what, it's time for me to move on. So my gut feeling, and T-Bob, you can hold me to this, which you always do with everything else, is that Drew Brees is going to retire.
Boog, a phenomenal season yet again here on Off the Bench. We always appreciate the football insight and always the discussions. I know Jay Payne and Central Plumbing Company love to put their name on the segment. So we will talk to you next football season. Thank you again, as always, for your time, for sticking around with us every Wednesday morning.
Hey, man, really appreciate it. To the guys at Central Plumbing, Jay Payne, thank you for allowing me to come on. And, we have a lot of fun. I kid T-Bob a lot. T-Bob has gotten incrementally better over the years, and hopefully we can continue this. But no, all seriousness aside, man, I do this not for anything else other than the people. And you and T-Bob, mostly you, Jordy, but T-Bob a little bit, have always been good to me. I always enjoy the conversation, and hopefully the people listening enjoy it also. National champs, good football season.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can finish strong today and get this Jackson kid and get the Burks kid. And then you know what? Boog's going to go off, and I'm going to put on my two-piece bikini, and I'm going to relax.
Hey, well-deserved. Well-deserved, Boog.
Hit him straight, my man.
Send me pictures.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
No, T-Bob, that's a little creepy. I would not send you pictures.
Just text me. You got my number. Just text him. Are you wearing a Speedo?
I'm not going to do that. No, it's a two-piece. It's a headband and a thong.
Later, bud.
Later.
Booger McFarland checking in. Last Wednesday segment for until we talk to him in August. We'll be back for football season.